Doubt him at your own risk. Cole Palmer keeps rewriting the rules of the game. Since joining Chelsea, Palmer has been one of the most productive midfielders in the Premier League. Calm, collected, and ice-cold when it matters most. But here's the thing. Even as a kid, this guy's football IQ was off the charts. Scouts used to rave about the way he saw things no one else could. His first coach put it best. Every game I'd start to yell, "What are you doing?" Only to realize 5 seconds later this kid had pulled off a pass I never even thought possible. Back in 2010, Palmer was just another kid from Wythenshawe, splitting his days between detention and kicking a ball around on local pitches. But even then, his talent was undeniable. Growing up, he idolized Wayne Rooney and dreamed of playing for Manchester United just like his hero. Then, at 8 years old, Palmer had a moment most kids could only dream of. Liverpool, Manchester City, and even his beloved United were fighting for him. Now, this is where it gets interesting. United offered him a trial, his dream club, but Palmer, he said no, flat out. He wasn't interested in trials or taking it slow. Instead, he chose Manchester City, determined to take his own path. Fast forward to 2018, and Palmer's place at City's academy was hanging by a thread. His performances had dipped, and physically, he wasn't keeping up. Some thought he wouldn't make it, but Jason Wilcox, City's academy director, refused to write him off. "He's extremely clever," Wilcox said. "You guys can't even see the things he's seeing." And then, almost overnight, everything changed. Palmer shot up to 6'2", and suddenly, he was unstoppable. He captained City's under-18s to a league title, racking up 20 goals and 8 assists in just 1,100 minutes. The FA Youth Cup final, he scored the winning goal and dedicated it to his last teammate Jeremy Whiston, who tragically took his own life after being released during the pandemic. That moment showed exactly who Cole Palmer is, quiet but fiercely loyal. Over the next few years, Palmer kept showing up and proving himself. He shone on the pitch time after time. But as it often goes in football, the rewards didn't immediately follow. The next season, Cole Palmer was making waves, training with the first team during the week and absolutely tearing it up for the under-23s on match days. He wasn't just good, he was on fire. Goals, assists, you name it. But breaking into a team packed with stars like Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and Bernardo Silva, well, that's no easy task. Then came his moment. It was 2021, his Champions League debut, and Palmer did what every kid dreams of. He scored. Just a month later, he played against Burnley in the Premier League. After the final whistle, while his teammates were cooling off and celebrating the win, Palmer did something no one expected. He sprinted out of the stadium. An hour later, everyone got their answer. Palmer wasn't done for the day. He asked to play with the under-23s in their match that same afternoon. Not only did he play, he scored a hat-trick. A hat-trick! That moment said everything about Palmer. Hungry, relentless, and obsessed with the game. And it was paying off. His brilliance for City's youth teams, along with his flashes of magic in the first team, earned him a nomination for the 2022 Golden Boy Award. Palmer was now officially one of the most exciting young talents in football. But even with all that buzz, breaking into Pep Guardiola's first team was still a grind. Injuries and City's insane competition for places meant Palmer spent more time watching than playing. The summer departures of Riyad Mahrez and Raheem Sterling should have been his big break. But the reality? Even during City's historic treble-winning season, Palmer's chances were few and far between. He had his moments, but it wasn't enough. Palmer knew it. If he wanted more, something had to change. Then came the summer of 2023. Just 12 days after City's Champions League triumph, Palmer joined the England under-21s for the Euros. He started slow, but when the big games came, he delivered. In the semi-final, he assisted one and scored another to send England to the brink of glory. And in the final, Palmer's free kick sealed the win, making England under-21 champions. He returned home as a hero. Back at City, Palmer didn't stop. He scored in the Community Shield, though City couldn't hold on to the lead. Then, just days later, he stepped up again, scoring the only goal in the European Super Cup to win City the trophy. But here's where it gets interesting. After all that, Guardiola offered him a loan move to Burnley. For Palmer, it was the final straw. He'd been promised a bigger role and he was done waiting. He rejected the loan and made his decision clear. He wanted to leave. Manchester City did everything they could to keep Cole Palmer, but he wasn't having it. The arrival of Jeremy Doku, that was the final straw. With the Euros coming up, Palmer knew he had to play, really play, to have any shot at making the England squad. Staying at City, that wasn't going to cut it. And then, out of nowhere, Chelsea happened. Everyone thought they'd go for a big-name player like Michael Olise, but no, they signed Cole Palmer. It caught fans off guard. Why spend £40 million on a young player with barely any first-team experience? Especially when Chelsea already had guys like Madueke, Mudryk, Sterling and Nkunku. People were scratching their heads. But Palmer was ready to prove everyone wrong. It didn't take long. After a couple of appearances off the bench, Palmer got his first start. And what did he do? Set up a goal and walked away with the Man of the Match award. Suddenly, everyone was talking about it. The media couldn't get enough. This kid can't sit on the bench, Mauricio Pochettino agreed. He saw Palmer's talent and hunger, and just like that, he started giving him more and more chances. And Palmer ran with it. He scored against Burnley. He set up a crucial goal against Arsenal. Then he absolutely lit up against Tottenham, earning yet another Man of the Match award. But then came the big one, Manchester City, Palmer's former club. The game was electric. Late on, Chelsea won a penalty. The stadium fell silent. Everyone was watching as Palmer stepped up. Pressure? Huge. But Palmer? Ice cold. He smashed the ball into the top corner like it was nothing. After the match, when someone asked if he was nervous, Palmer just smiled and said, "Not really." But there was just one problem. Up until this point, Palmer's Premier League goals had only come from penalties. Critics were starting to talk. So, after returning from international duty, Palmer made it his mission to shut them up. And he did it in style. He scored against Manchester United at Old Trafford, of all places. Then followed it up with 2 goals and an assist in a thrilling 3-2 win over Luton Town. Oh, and one of those goals? Nominated for Goal of the Month. Now, Palmer's celebrations were getting attention too. Apparently, he borrowed the gesture from his friend Morgan Rogers. But with the way he was playing, fans gave him a new nickname, Cold Palmer. And honestly, it fits perfectly. In just 12 starts, he became one of only 5 Chelsea players under 21 to hit double figures for goal contributions. But football is never smooth sailing. Palmer's form dipped. 1 goal and 2 assists in his next 7 games. Chelsea were sliding too. By February, they were 11th in the table with a negative goal difference. To make things worse, they had just lost the League Cup final to Liverpool. Their season was slipping away, and it felt like a miracle was their only hope. And wouldn't you know it, Cole Palmer stepped up. In a tense game against Brentford, he assisted a late equaliser to snatch a crucial point. Against Newcastle, he scored and assisted. Against Leicester City, he delivered a goal and another assist to seal the win. Then came Burnley. Palmer's brace saved Chelsea from defeat. By now, fans were saying it out loud. As long as Cole Palmer's on the pitch, Chelsea can't lose. But another real test, Manchester United. Chelsea came flying out of the gates, taking a 2-0 lead with Palmer scoring yet another penalty. But the game turned, and United clawed their way back. In injury time, Chelsea were trailing, and it looked like the match was over. Then the drama unfolded. Chelsea were awarded a 90th minute penalty. Pressure? Not for Cole Palmer. He buried it to complete his hat-trick, and then, just minutes later, he scored again from a corner. The impossible had happened. At this point, he was unstoppable. In March and April, Palmer took things to another level, scoring 11 goals in just 6 games. And by May, Palmer had truly made history. He became the youngest Chelsea player to reach 30 goal contributions in a single Premier League season. He capped it all off with a goal against West Ham and a goal and assist in Chelsea's final game of the season. Thanks to Palmer, Chelsea finished strong, climbing the table when it mattered most. Here's the stat that says it all. Palmer was directly involved in 27 of Chelsea's 63 points. Take those away, and Chelsea would have finished in the relegation zone. Instead, thanks to his heroics, they secured a spot in the Conference League. Palmer's debut season for Chelsea was nothing short of sensational. Imagine this. In just 33 games, he was involved in nearly half of Chelsea's goals, 48% to be exact. That's 33 goals and assists combined, a record only matched by Ronaldo and Haaland for under-22 players. And he did all this despite missing chunks of the season due to his late transfer and initially being overlooked. Talk about making a statement. When you break it down, Palmer's efficiency was mind-blowing. Game for game, he outshone even Chelsea legend Eden Hazard in some key stats. While Haaland may have grabbed headlines as a goal-scoring machine, Palmer's all-around impact, especially with fewer chances, was truly special. It's no wonder the awards started rolling in. Palmer was crowned Chelsea's Player of the Year, Premier League Young Player of the Year and PFA Fans Player of the Year. Even Pep Guardiola, the man who let him go, couldn't help but admit, if I had given him the same minutes I gave Foden, he'd still be here. That is my responsibility. His rise didn't stop there. Palmer earned a call-up to the England national team for the Euros, and even with limited minutes, he proved why he's such a hot talent. In the semi-final, with England desperate for a spark, Palmer came off the bench and set up the crucial goal that sent them to the final. And in the final itself, he stepped up again, scoring a dramatic equaliser after being subbed on. Though England eventually lost, Palmer's performances left no doubt. He's a star in the making. And then came this season, where he picked up right where he left off. In August, he scored a jaw-dropping lob against Wolves that won him the Premier League's Goal of the Month. But September was when Palmer truly made history. He became the first Chelsea player to score 4 goals in the first half of a Premier League match. One of those goals, a stunning free kick, went on to win Chelsea's Goal of the Month. And just like that, he bagged his second Premier League Player of the Month award, all within his first 50 games for the club. With every performance, Palmer keeps proving why he's one of the most sought-after young talents in European football. Rumours of interest from other top clubs are swirling, and you can't help but wonder if Pep Guardiola is kicking himself for letting him leave. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and hit the subscribe button for more content like this.